This is definitely one of the newer hair extension methods and innovations within the hair extension world. I definitely think it came about as a result of the popularity of Combline hair extension. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sam and I'm so excited to talk to you guys today about V-Light hair extensions. This is definitely one of the newer hair extension methods and innovations within the hair extension world. I definitely think it came about as a result of the popularity of Combline hair extensions. And there are a lot of similarities between Combline and V-Light, but there's also a lot of differences as well that I am now just starting to discover. Let's talk about the differences between Combline and V-Light. So the main difference, of course, is how we cure that bond. With Combline, of course, we don't need that added element of the UV light. All that we do is we need that air. So it's almost like a lash adhesive where you don't need a light to cure it. How I look at it, it's like nails, right? So when we go to the nail salon, you can do a regular nail polish and you can do a gel nail polish. With your regular nail polish, you don't need a UV light, but with your gel polish, you do need that UV light because that is what's going to cure that adhesive. It's the same thing with your V-Light extensions. The only way to set that glue is through the use of the UV light. The way that you set the Combline glue is just through air. The most important thing when it comes to extensions, especially your adhesive based extensions, is prep. We always want to make sure that we're installing on clean, dry, clarified hair. This is the most true when we're working with our Combline and then now our V-Light hair extensions. Clarifying is number one, and that's why I opt to clarify the guest's natural hair in the salon, dry it, and then I'll go in and install the extensions. Now that I've dried the hair, I'm going to straighten their natural hair, and I'll do this as I'm working through the hair section by section. It's also really important that we straighten that extension hair as well because we want to make sure everything lies nice and flush. With your extensions, you can use a few different methods. You can use a tape extension, you could even use a genius weft, and you cut off that top, like the tape part or the weft part, the spine of the weft, and then all we need from that is the hair itself. So because of that, you are able to choose whatever hair extension hair and brand that you choose. My preference is going to be my Bellamy Professional hair, and I like to work with either a tape-in or a genius weft because I feel like the way that that's distributed makes it a lot easier to pick up the hair, and I'm not being wasteful with the amount of hair that I'm picking up. So now I'm going to section off. What you'll notice is our section sizes are really small, exactly the same as when we're working with our Combline sections. We're picking up slithers of hair. They're almost like what we'd pick up for a baby light hair extension. What I'll always do is I'll pick up the hair and I'll check that my subsection is equal to my section on top. Then I'll go through the sides. If there's any extra hair in there that is cross hairs or it's been over directed into that section, then I'll take it out of the way. Then I'm going to go in with my shield. This shield is amazing. It is from the Weave Queen and you can buy it through her website. This is going to really help protect the natural hair and the scalp. You're not only isolating that hair, but then you'll also have an extra barrier so that that UV light is never going on the client's scalp. Now that I've got my section all isolated and my shield has been pinned in place, I'm going to take my hair extension hair. I'm literally picking up a few hairs. So let's say my section is 10 hairs, the hair that I pick up will be 10 hairs. Then I'm going to fan out that hair and I'm going to lay it on top of that natural hair. Then I will go in and my first step is going to be to comb that hair, and I'll comb the extensions into the natural hair. That way I'm integrating it with that natural hair. Then I'm going to go in with my V-Light glue. You'll notice that this is a thicker solution, so I'll do about 3 blobs. You don't need a lot. Then I'm going to go in with the end of my comb. You'll see this tool here is really unique because it has that metal comb at the end. Then I'm going to go in with that, and then I can cure it with that UV light. The UV light has a timer on it, it's about 15 seconds, so I'm actually going to cure it twice for a total of 30 seconds. Once that's done, I'll then remove the shield and I'm just going to feel that bond. I like to make sure that it feels really, really nice and smooth. If it feels spiky at the top, that means that your glue or your adhesive hasn't gone far up enough, and then that way it's going to be exposed to the natural elements, so you'll find that your retention on that bond is not going to be as long. Also, it might be a little bit annoying for your client as well, so it's really important that that adhesive is being spread all the way to the top to really make sure that you are sealing the top of that bond. I choose not to spread my bonds out. I don't separate them. I just let them live in the hair, because over time what you'll find is they will begin to separate themselves. You can do it if you feel like you want to. Just remember, it might affect the retention of that bond just a little bit. So let's talk about the lifespan of these hair extensions. I feel like this is what really differentiates between the UV light, the V light extensions and the Combline. Combline extensions, you'll find that your clients will come in for infills about every 4 weeks and they are going to shed. With your V light, it's a little bit long. It might be more like 8 weeks, and you'll find that the shed might not be as much. That's just because of the way the adhesive is cured. So I do find that the retention on these is a little bit longer. Another point of difference is going to be your adhesive. With your Combline adhesive, it does have an expiration, and also once you open that glue, it has an expiration of about 2 weeks. So that's very important to bear in mind. With your V-Light glue, it doesn't have an expiration, and typically once it's been opened, you're gonna probably want to replace it about every 6 months. So it does have a longer shelf life, which is great, especially if you're not someone that is doing them often. If you're working with Combline, you might find that you go through the glue a lot quicker than you're using it because of that expiration. Rather than with the V-Light, you're not gonna have to replace it as often. I am someone that does a lot of hair extensions, so I never feel like I'm running into that issue, but it is something to bear in mind when you're starting out. So let's talk about our pricing. The way that I price my Combline and my V-Light is going to be exactly the same. So if you're someone that's already offering the Combline, you can price them exactly the same. What is going to change is those maintenance appointments. So I do feel like the V-Light extension acts more like a bond as opposed to the Combline, which is something that naturally sheds from the hair. Because of that reason, I do think that they are similar but so different at the same time. So what I will do with my Combline is I will do fills rather than with my V-Light. Let's say they're coming in every 2 weeks, which is every 8 weeks. I might just opt to do a full removal and a reinstall each time. But again, it's all up to you. It's your preference, and then you can keep in touch with your clients as well and seeing how much they are shedding. Some people are going to have better retention than others, and also it all depends on the aftercare at home. What you need to bear in mind is with your V-Light extensions, alcohol will break them down. So you want to tell your clients to avoid anything that's alcohol based. Anytime I'm using any sort of adhesive, I always tell clients to avoid oils and conditioners at the roots as well. That's really important. As the bonds start to grow out, you'll also want to separate those bonds so that they don't become tangled together, and then always make sure that you're brushing. I love the Bellamy boar bristle brush. I think it's great, and you can use it at the top of the hair at that point of attachment to make sure that you're constantly detangling the hair. Right, so let's talk about the removal. You have a few different options when it comes to removal. I'm still personally playing around with this method, so I'm just trying to figure out what I prefer. You do get this hot tool which has grooves on it, and you apply that to the bond and then you gently slide that out. The other option would be to use an alcohol-based remover. You spray it on, and just like your keratin extensions, you go in and with your pliers break that bond down. You can also use an oil-based remover as well. I am playing around with all the different ways that we can remove them. I do feel like if I use that hot tool, I might still have to go in with a little bit of that alcohol remover and just get rid of any residue that's left on the hair. Then I would go in, re-clarify the hair, and then blow dry them, straighten them, and then go in and do that new install. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys being here. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and also if there's anything at all that you'd like me to make, any sort of video about hair extensions, aftercare, it doesn't have to be method specific, drop me a comment in the comments below and I'll be more than happy to go ahead and make that video for you. Thank you so much guys. I'll catch you in the next one.